cookie possibly be? I mean, it was because they were dry, right?
They were very dry, yes. But here's the other thing. Not only were they dry, Jeff, they were tasteless. They were thick. They didn't have any harumph behind the cookie. And I wanted to be fair, so I also had Chips Ahoy, and I also had Subway cookies. And mind you, I did this on a Friday night. And on a Friday night, we had 300 people watch, 200 and some comments. They literally, for an hour, watched me fist cookies.
Well, I think it's at one point you called Willie Amos a mother effing sellout, I think, or something to that accord.
I did. I said Willie Amos is a motherfucking sellout, and I'll tell you what, I stand by it, Jeff.
Okay.
I stand by it.
Well, he sold the company years ago.
He did. He sold it in 1981.
That was the year I was born.
Really? A lot of bad things happened that year then, huh?
It seems to be.
Listen.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun was the number one song. So.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow. I went into this cookie test with an open mind. And with the 3 cookies, I thought I had an idea of where they would go. And I was right, but I was also very wrong. Because and maybe you could speak to this, Jeff. Do you believe that having milk changes the entire outcome of a cookie experience?
Do I? Yes. For me, it's got to be a nice, thick vitamin D whole milk.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Right. So I go with the thicken, and I'm a dipper.
You're a dip.
So, I'll do the dippy-do.
Now, now let me ask you, do you dippy-do every cook, or do you dippy-do certain cookies?
It's not all the time that I do it. But I think that when you get to Chips Ahoy, I think a Chips Ahoy gets a dippy-do.
I'm glad you brought that up. I agree. So I tried the 3 without the dip, and obviously Famous Amos was dead fucking last. Chips Ahoy was second, and number 1 was the Subway cookie. Because have you ever had the Subway cookie?
You know what? I was never. One time I think I got it, and it was like the white chocolate macadamia nut one. And
how did you? Do you remember the experience? What are your thoughts?
I thought that it tasted like the sandwiches. So
the Subway sandwiches?
It did. It tasted like the bread or like the meat, because all the meat is like turkey based anyway. But like it tastes like the bread. So to me, it smelled and tasted like I was eating a sandwich.
So you didn't enjoy it?
Let me guess. You loved it.
Well, I liked it. I don't like a super doughy cookie. Do you like the doughy cookie, or do you believe a cook?
I don't mind a little dough in the cook.
I don't like it. I can't do dough in the cook. I can't do it. If I wanted dough, bro, I'd eat dough.
Okay, do you eat, have you ever had cookie dough ice cream? Or no, you wouldn't even touch that?
I would, you know that. I would never touch that.
You wouldn't even put that between your thin lips?
No, between these fucking lips, not a chance.
Okay, all right.
Okay, no, you know why? Because, again, if I wanted cookie dough, I would go out and seek cookie dough. And the one thing I didn't like about the Subway was that they were very, very undercooked, in my opinion, Jeff.
I think that's by design, isn't it?
Maybe. But either way, made for a very mediocre cookie experience. And the fact that that was the number 1 cookie of the other 2 should show you how bad they are.
I'll tell you what, I was out on Subway when they got rid of the $5 footballs.
I agree. I agree.
And it's just not the same. And then, we're from a place where you don't even look at a Subway if you're going to get a hoagie or a sandwich like that. Subway, please. You walk past it.
We're from the land of actual real hoagies. Of course we wouldn't go to Subway.
The closest one to me is inside a Walmart. How about that?
Yeah, right. And I bet you they do terribly. Because you can get the delicious bread that you need and make a hoagie at home.
Easily. Yep.
But I digress. So then I said, you know what? Let me be fair. Let me be thorough. Let's add milk dipping to this cookie trial. And first off, I tried to dip the Subway cookies, Jeff, and I got to tell you, it fell right apart. It crumbled. And, I hate to, me, I'm a punny guy, but the cookie was crumbling. And that is the way that the cookie crumbled in that particular instance.
All right, Jim Carrey, you love the pun.
I do.
We get it. We understand what it is. You make yourself giggle when you say them. You think it's still funny.
Yep.
So that's all that matters.
Yes. So obviously, the Subway, total disaster when it came to the milk dip. You can't milk dip a Subway, okay? Which left Chips Ahoy and Famous Amos.
Subway is not designed, it's there as an added extra. You don't get milk with your Subway sandwich, so the cookie is not meant for the milk dip anyway to begin with.
Well, then don't call it a cookie, call it a snack.
Okay.
A cookie, just change your fucking lingo.
Ooh, simmer down.
I'm sorry, I'm upset. Okay, so you have the Chips Ahoy. I did the chips. The Chips Ahoy, it stayed hard on the outside, Jeff, but the milk made the inside a little chewy, which I did like. I was very, very impressed with the Chips Ahoy.
All right. Now, with the Chips Ahoy, when you dip it in the milk, it can't be an extended stay within the milk glass. So it's a quick dip and go.
You go 1 dip, 2 dip, 3 dip, eat. Yeah. 1 dip, 2 dip, 3 dip, eat.
Dip, gullet.
Right.
And then down it goes. Correct.
Right.
The longer you hang on, it's worse. A lot of people, they will over-inundate, and then by the time you get the cookie out, it's falling all apart. It's a mushy mess.
Well, I'm glad you brought up mushy mess, Jeff.
It's like getting a corn squirt in your face.
Again, corn squirts are fabulous. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but let's be real. The big surprise of the night was the Amos. Did you see that, Jeff? Were you shocked by the Amos?
Well, I was shocked at the amount of Amoses that went into your mouth. You put every Amos in your mouth except for Willie himself.
That's right. Well, Willie's too big.
Okay.
But the Amos, I did about 5 Amoses right up at the top. And it's funny, I woke up the next morning, my blood sugar was 569, and so I
That's good. Well, that's as close to an ambulance as could possibly be.
Yes. Yes, it is. Thank you. The one thing that surprised me is the Amos itself as a cookie really sucked. It was dry. It was tasteless. They didn't use sweet chocolate chips, Jeff. They used semi-sweet chocolate, and I thought that was a mistake.
Yeah, the semi-sweet chocolate can begin to really take away from a lot of things.
From the cookie,
So,
you know what it is? It's like eating corn without the squirt.
Right, we're indulging. This is what we're doing. So you know what? Let's just go straight cookie here. Stop playing games.
Stop fucking around.
Yeah. We're tickling the taint here.
We are tickling. Yes. Yeah. And here's the thing: when I dipped that Amos. And if you go to the video, it's pinned to the top of the page. It's at 57 minutes into the video.
Yes, it is. 57 minutes in. Yes.
And by the way, hundreds of people watch this. 57 minutes into the video, I dipped that Amos into milk. And what happened was magical, Jeff. The Amos turns into cookie dough with milk. And I Googled this after the video because I was actually really that was weird, right?
Does it quickly does it, huh?
Apparently one of the quote unquote things that makes Famous Amos famous is that the Famous Amos does turn into cookie dough with milk. So it's it's like a dry sponge, and then you put it in, and if you look at the video that happened, it's right around 59 and a half minutes into the video. When I touch it, it literally just fell off in globs. And I was literally eating globs of cookie dough, Jeff.
Now, when you get it in there, do you work it with your tongue when it's in? You're just like, I have to enjoy this for the time being.
So I took those globs, I put them in, and I suckled. And what I did was I swished it around. And I really gave Amos a taste. And it was at that moment when it became abundant that there was cookie dough that the Famous Amos secret was released. And it made me shiver, Jeff.
Well, initially you were out on the Amos.
Listen, I am still out.
You sent me a picture initially last week mocking somebody that had the Amos and making a funny joke about a man who had them under his arm.
You're right.
And now he's an elitist now. When you look back, you go, this guy knew what he was talking about.
Well,
he was going home to dunk.
Here's the thing. I didn't even think about it. And you're right. I regret that. And the big surprise of the night was that I rated Famous Amos as the best cookie of those three when dunked, Jeff. I didn't even think about it.
Well, that's I would say that's hasty of you, but I'll tell you what, you're a man that when you eat food, you eat it and you use your mouth.
That's right.
As much as you possibly can to suckle, to nibble, to suck in general, to swoosh, all of it.
Listen, when I eat and I love something, I move my mouth like a lady in 1968 in Hanoi, okay? I move that mouth.
Who needs lips?
That's right. Well, who needs those thin lips? You're absolutely right. All right, Jeff, real quick before we go, this last podcast here for the week, I did forget to mention that I got several messages regarding the soundtrack that I used for that cookie video.
Okay, were they disparaging?
No, I'll tell you what. We have intern John Paul. He's actually... Wake up! We need you, buddy. All right, do me a favor. When I point at you, hit that button, okay, intern John? Okay.
Smoking on the ganja?
No, actually, he's doing his 10th grade biology homework.
Okay. 10th grade? Oh, he's held back a couple of years, huh? Maybe 17.
Yeah, well, listen, he's not the brightest bulb. But here's what happened. I took a different song for each cookie trial. So, like, I did C is for Cookie by Cookie Monster. I did Baby Shark. I did the Hokey Pokey. And we were having fun. We were dancing along, right? But
there, real carnival.
It was a real fucking carnival. But what happened, Jeff, is there was one song that people seemed to really respond to. And I want to get your opinion. I want you to tell me, A, if you think this was right for me to use this. B, should I have danced to it? C, would you have included this in the video, okay?
All right, I'll do it.
All right, now do me a favor. Tell intern John Paul to hit it, please.
John Paul, hey, girl, hit it.
I'm eating cookies here, remember. Now, mind you. All right, here we go. And I'm eating and...
I'm a little teapot, short and stout.
Oh!
This is my handle.
This is my spout. When I get a steam
up, hear me shout.
Oh!
Tip me over and pour me out.
What was wrong with that?
I love it. I thought it made the video.
It did, because you know what? You weren't getting too hyped as you were doing it. It's a methodical process. You want to make sure that that you're tasting, licking, touching, smelling, doing all those kind of things. And as you do that song, it kind of keeps with the the momentum of where you're heading.
Right.
And it makes you feel like it's joyous. Tip me over and pour me out. Ooh.
Right, I'm a little teapot. But see, that's the thing. So I got a message. This is from Dante and Christina. Christina said, that was the worst. Why did you pick that song? Dante says, you are a musical wizard. Loved, loved, loved all of your songs except the teapot.
What do people have wrong with the teapot? First off, the teacups itself are the best ride in an amusement park.
Yep, I agree.
But the song, I hear nothing. I hear the joy in it. And, it brings joy to kids, joy to everybody. That's terrible for them to say that.
And see, I was dunking the cookies, and I used this song for two reasons. One, this song is literally exactly a minute long. So I knew that I had a minute to eat and judge the cookie. So I used it as a timing mechanism as well.
Look, you got to understand that we're in a contentious time, okay?
Yeah.
So, and all you were trying to do is heal a nation.
I was.
One swoosh in the mouth of chocolate at a time, right?
That's right. And
nibble at a time.
Well, Jeff, I think the best thing that we can do here, and call me crazy, but maybe we end this podcast here with with that song. Maybe we just together, we listen to it, we laugh, and we wish everyone a great weekend. And we become the teapot.
With this, come on. I want to hear from you, Dante. Find me something negative about this, okay?
Christina, you're right. I mean, it's disgusting. You're right. Find tell me one thing. And they just said, look, you're usually funny.